The movie begins with Wednesday bound to a chair in a dimly lit basement, surrounded by eerie, lifeless dolls. Their glassy eyes seem to follow her every move, adding to the sense of impending danger. 6 weeks earlier, after returning home, Wednesday had devoted herself entirely to mastering her psychic abilities. Every answer she sought was hidden in Goody's ancient spellbook. Once she had sharpened her skills and gained control over her visions, she turned her focus toward a long-standing obsession, one she had harbored since the age of 6. The criminal she had most admired as a child was the infamous Kansas City Scalper. To locate him through psychic means, she needed an object tied to one of his crimes. His 11th victim had been holding a bowling ball at the time of capture, and through this relic, Wednesday pinpointed the man's location. The very next day, she booked a flight to find him. But at the airport security checkpoint, she was stopped by guards. After a thorough search, every weapon she had concealed was confiscated before she was allowed to proceed. When she finally confronted the scalper, Wednesday attempted to incapacitate him with a taser. Instead, she was overpowered. The moment he seized her arm, a sudden vision overwhelmed her, and she collapsed. When she awoke, she was tied to a chair in his basement, the same sinister place from the opening scene. He stood before her, holding a handmade doll that resembled her, boasting that it would soon join his collection as a tribute to his victims. Before he could begin his gruesome work, Thing burst from inside one of the dolls and attacked him. With her friend distracting the scalper, Wednesday freed herself and turned his own tools against him. Once she had inflicted enough pain to subdue him, she handed him over to the police and returned home, ready to enjoy the last days of her vacation. On the way to Nevermore Academy, she discovered her brother Pugsley had somehow developed the ability to shoot lightning from his hands. She challenged him to destroy a roadside plaque. He succeeded, but the moment the sign shattered, an accident occurred at a nearby intersection. The Addams family carried on as if nothing unusual had happened. That same afternoon, in another part of town, a private investigator named Carl was secretly photographing a woman on a romantic date. Without warning, a large murder of crows descended on him. By the time he noticed, it was too late. He ran to his vehicle, calling a trusted contact to say he had been discovered. He revealed the location of crucial evidence in case he didn't survive. Seconds after ending the call, the crows breached his car and killed him. Now that Pugsley had been transferred to Nevermore, Wednesday laid down her rules for living alongside him and headed toward her dorm. She had become somewhat of a celebrity at school after saving it from the demonic pilgrim. Upon arrival, she was introduced to Barry Dord, the new principal. Inside her dorm room, she reunited with Enid and presented her with a gift taken from the scalper's home. As they unpacked, Wednesday opened the bathroom door just in time for an arrow to narrowly miss them, embedding itself in the wall. A photograph was pinned beneath it. Wednesday tried using her psychic power to identify the stalker, but failed. Enid noticed a black tear rolling from Wednesday's eye, but Wednesday dismissed her concern. Meanwhile, Morticia and Gomez were invited to stay at Rotwood Cottage, the former home of Marilyn Thornhill. And Barry offered Morticia the chairmanship of Nevermore's Gala Republic Revenue Committee. Displeased by her parents' presence, Wednesday took a walk in the woods and stumbled across police collecting Carl's corpse. Sheriff Santiago was on the scene. She spotted a man trying to flee and chased him down. After knocking him to the ground, she recognized him as Galen, the former sheriff. He claimed he and Carl had been working together on a case, and before Carl's death, he had uncovered something that threatened all outcasts. Wednesday didn't trust him and walked away. Despite his transfer to the Reichenbach School in Switzerland, Xavier sent Wednesday a final gift, an illustration of a raven perched on a tombstone. Though he didn't understand its meaning, he was sure it was connected to her. With Thing's help, Wednesday soon discovered her stalker had broken into her room and stolen her manuscript. Convinced it would be burned during the founder's pyre ceremony, she rushed to the event. While the crowd was distracted by a musical performance and the principal's speech, she searched the towering branches for her book. She found it just as the principal set the structure ablaze. With Enid fetching help, several telekinetic students united to lift the flaming wooden bird into the air, delighting the crowd. Wednesday barely escaped the fire with her manuscript and climbed onto the stage. Spotting a painting honoring her for saving Nevermore, She set it aflame, intentionally tarnishing her newfound fame. That night, Pugsley wandered alone into the forest, fell from a tree trunk, and accidentally revived a buried corpse with an electric shock. Alarmed, Enid followed him, but when she touched Wednesday, Wednesday had a vision of Enid's grave surrounded by crows. Moments later, she was attacked by the zombified corpse wearing Enid's face, which accused her of causing her death. Wednesday collapsed and was rescued by the real Enid and a mysterious woman in a red cape. When she awoke, Morticia expressed concern that her black tears were a sign of psychic exhaustion. Wednesday ignored her warning and sought out Galen for answers, only to find him dead, his eyes missing just like Carl. Crows erupted from his mouth, flying wildly until one remained. It was the same one from her vision and Xavier's illustration. She touched Galen's body, hoping for a clue, but her powers failed. Before she could leave, Sheriff Santiago arrived, and she was arrested. Gomez acted as her lawyer and secured her release, warning Santiago she would need a warrant to question her again. The next day, Pugsley showed Eugene the zombie Slurp he had hidden in the barn. Eugene realized Slurp matched the legend of the Skull Tree Boy. As Slurp's tissue and brain slowly regenerated, Eugene insisted they report it, but Pugsley promised he could keep it restrained. Wednesday questioned Barry and Dr. Orruff about students capable of controlling birds. She learned the last known Avon graduated a decade ago. With no answers, she visited Tyler at Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital. Dr. Fairburn admitted her usual methods were failing and allowed Wednesday to see him. Tyler reacted coldly to news of his father's death and refused to help. Midway through their conversation, he began transforming, but a guard stopped him with a shock collar. Later, Wednesday found Thing trapped in her trunk and learned Enid had been kidnapped. A phone call from her stalker gave her 30 minutes to find her. Enid awoke chained atop Iago Tower, hundreds of blades hanging above her. Wednesday followed a musical clue to a hidden elevator leading to the tower. As Thing tried to free them, he was caught in a blade trap. The blades began to fall, but Wednesday solved the stalker's riddle in time, raising the platform. Applause followed. Agnes appeared, revealing herself as the stalker. She was only 13, invisible, and had staged everything to impress Wednesday and befriend her. That night, a driver named Gabe struck a figure in the forest. When he went to check, the body vanished, and Slurp attacked, killing him. Wednesday's mother later confiscated Goody's book, fearing it would drive her to madness like Aunt Ophelia. Wednesday insisted the crow attacks were connected to her visions and that someone was orchestrating them. Morticia refused to return the book. Meanwhile, Slurp escaped the barn. And Agnes helped Wednesday unlock Galen's phone, discovering Carl's message that evidence was hidden in a cabin. Using photos from Galen's home, she pinpointed the location and joined a school camping trip to reach it. At camp, a dispute arose when Ron Kruger arrived with his cadets, claiming the site was his. They agreed to a challenge: steal the rival team's Zephyr and place it atop the watchtower. The winners would stay. Wednesday's tactics led her team to victory. That night, she slipped away to search the cabin, finding obituaries for people who had supposedly died years ago, all former Willow Hill patients. Still powerless psychically, she took the files. To reclaim Goody's book, she challenged Morticia to a blindfolded sword duel. During the fight, Slurp attacked Gomez. Pugsley, Eugene, and Agnes fought alongside the arriving students until Wednesday threw her sword into Slurp's skull to save her mother. The police captured the zombie, and as Ron's body was taken away, Wednesday spotted the one-eyed crow again. Soon after, Thornhill was returned to prison but requested to see Tyler one last time. He attacked her, proving she no longer controlled him. Hester Frump, Wednesday's grandmother, visited her, but their meeting was interrupted by the crow stealing the obituaries. Wednesday chased it through the cemetery, glimpsing a hooded aviary figure from camp. She called Uncle Fester for help, learning Lewis was tied to an outcast research project. While Fester infiltrated Willow Hill, a crow attack on Nevermore was thwarted by Barry's firepower. Wednesday chased the aviary but lost them and grew suspicious of Dr. Fairburn. When she discovered Fester had been captured and locked in a cell with Slurp, Wednesday and Agnes staged a rescue. In the chaos, they uncovered the truth. Lewis wasn't a person, but a project using kidnapped outcasts as test subjects. The obituaries were fakes, the victims were still alive, imprisoned for experimentation. The aviary was revealed as Judy Stonehurst, daughter of Augustus Stonehurst. Her father's obsession with outcasts had driven him to try stealing their powers, ultimately giving Judy the ability to control birds. Fester cut the power, freeing the prisoners. Thornhill attempted to escape but was hunted down by Tyler in his hide form. Slurp devoured Fairburn and Augustus. Near the exit, Hyde cornered Wednesday and hurled her out a window. Police swarmed the scene, forcing Tyler to flee into the forest. Comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification to notify you when we post another recap. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next recap.